So, welcome everyone, except for Opheia, back to our session of Witcher. Last time that we played, embarking on a journey, our valiant party had found themselves within the grandeur of the northern city of Pont, Vanis. A call to adventure had echoed through the air as each member sought various passage or reason. They were looking for passage southward, and fate, it seemed, had grand plans, entwining their stories with that of Julian, Alfred, Pancratz, Viscount de Lettenhove, the famed Dandelion, or Yesker.
Whose name I totally got right last time.
Yes. They agreed to become the protectors of Julian's caravan and forged a contract detailing the mutual benefit of the agreement. As nightfall began to paint the city in shadow and the discussions eventually died down, Julian entrusted the group with a task to retrieve a parcel from the local shop Mika's Oddities and Provisions. Little did they know that the quaint shop was currently in the clutches of some ruthless brigands who were robbing and extorting Mika. A skirmish ensued, blades clashed, and sadly, amidst the chaos, Mika met a tragic end. Undeterred, though, our heroes emerged victorious, clutching Julian's precious package as they forged ahead towards the agreed-upon rendezvous at Moonshadow Lookout. Above them, a nearly full moon graced the night before Imbolc, and the stage is now set as they journey into the unknown. So, we shall load into our...
How do you spell Imbolc?
Oh my gosh, you're asking me to spell like a Celtic word?
I'm sorry.
It is on the calendar for one, but it is Imbaelck.
Okay.
So.
Ooh, I was way off.
If you got that on the first try, congrats. All right. So, the day ahead of you. And also before leaving the city of Pont Vanis, you were able to purchase some additional goods and wares. Mareigh was able to purchase a mule, so you are all well outfitted for the adventure ahead. You're not sure how long it may be before you once again have the opportunity to purchase things of that sort. So, the next morning, the day ahead of you is one of travel. The outskirts of Pont Vanis slowly turn to rural villages, then eventually to farmland, and by midday you find yourself in the wildlands, only occasionally passing a roadside stable or a lonely homestead. But you find ample time to get to know your new traveling companions.
Or reacquaint ourselves with previous traveling companions.
Indeed.
Or don't do that.
Whatever's fine.
Kaspar is a very quiet companion to have.
Oh yeah, me too. Definitely.
That's a lie.
Well, I mean,
I do endeavor to ask Kaspar if he's killed any interesting monsters in the past since we've last seen each other. Just for my own curiosity.
Depends on what you would account as a monster.
What?
Yes, human beings are the real monster. Yes.
Glad we got it out of the way up front.
Whatever you feel is interesting. You know I'm not one to judge you for the jobs that you take. A job is a job. And if you don't want to incriminate yourself, you have no reason to fear that. I am not a narc. I'm not.
I'm sorry. I don't know why in this setting narc feels so funny. Kind of like
slang.
Novigradian slang. What the fuck ever. got hired to kill a racketeer not too long ago. Put up a surprisingly good fight.
Was he racketeering?
I don't ask questions.
No, that's fair.
Rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Someone put coin on my table. That's that.
Sounds like you're still getting steady work. That's good.
Yes, I suppose. Now, keep an eye out for anything that we could use.
For the experiments, yes, of course. Picked up a few new recipes before we left. Refreshers and things. Specifically the type of glue that I'm interested in researching. But that's not very
The horses
interesting.
look a bit more nervous now.
Not that- this is 100%. I think this is 100% vegan glue.
It's acrylic.
It's
Plastic.
alchemist's adhesive, which I think can be just made from plants, but I'm not sure.
Basil, oregano, and horse tallow.
Oh
smells
no!
I'm not sure.
Ugh. I do need dog tallow at some point.
Well, ask a dog nicely.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of wolves along the way that we can strip for their tallow.
Unfortunately, that's wolf tallow. That's different.
I thought we're different.
No.
No,
I
it's not.
don't know what I would do with myself.
Find a chihuahua and get cracking.
The amount of glue to the amount of effort from a chihuahua just seems not economical.
Indeed,
I've
as
never
you
killed that.
and the
We'll just stop there.
Moving on.
Moving on.
as your group travels closer to the watchtower along this relatively well-worn road, you see the afternoon begin to grow late, and just as the sun begins to cast the sky in hues of pink and orange, you see in the distance the unmistakable form of a very tall hill, which is unmistakably a hill. But atop the hill is a ruined watchtower, which you also recognize as a watchtower that is ruined. So,
Looks ruined.
it
like a
does.
watchtower.
Yes. You're all a very
Is that a hill?
observant group.
We're very observant.
We don't like talking to each other, so we're all just like looking out into the horizon.
God, reading street signs.
I worry.
Yeah.
Don't like to talk to each other.
Indeed. Luckily, everyone will have plenty to chat about soon. So, as you travel to the tower along the relatively well-worn road, you see in the distance, already burning in the afternoon sun, the sight of a campfire near the ruins of Moonshadow Lookout, and they catch your attention. You see that the smoke swirls into the afternoon sky, signaling that clearly someone has reached this destination before you.
We were meeting Dandelion here, right?
That was the agreement.
Okay.
Well, it looks like the bard didn't get himself flayed on his last night in town.
Or whoever's got the campfire going's cooking him over it.
We're holding him hostage.
That's possible. That's possible.
Can we see any human figures around the campfire?
Or any monsters?
Indeed, go
You
ahead.
see an incredibly foppish presence.
Mareigh and anyone else who would like, go ahead and give me an awareness check as you draw nearer to the watchtower.
Awareness.
I would also love to do an awareness.
My luck resets.
Very nice. 2 22s
Nice.
and a 15. Mareigh, your observations are a little bit more limited. You see that there does appear to be fresh tracks in the road leading up to the watchtower, and clearly the presence of the campfire, which you've already been alerted to. You see the figure of someone, their back turned, appears to be kind of stoking or tending to the fire, but you're not able to identify the figure itself.
Okay.
Kilton and Kaspar, you both, a little bit more keen with your eyesight, are able to recognize the demeanor and stature of Julian, who you had recently become acquainted with, hunched over the fire. It appears as though Julian has indeed beat you here to the rendezvous point. However, as you get closer, Kaspar, your medallion begins to vibrate.
I signal for everyone to kind of slow.
I slow.
I do as well. What's the matter?
Dandelion is reacting.
Right, and that means
Something magical is near.
Oh,
Last I checked, Julian didn't have any sort of latent chaotic energy.
Aside from just general demeanor and choices in life.
huh.
Would this be something where a magical training check would be applicable, Zephyr?
Indeed.
Suss out any rogue magic around here.
Go ahead, and if you have your specialty skill, Mareigh, you can use that, or if you'd like to use an Arcana check, if you don't have that, and would still like to do a check, go ahead.
Arcana is
and
not a
use that
skill here.
Whatever, magical,
Hex weaving,
whatever.
spellcasting.
Spellcasting.
Whatever the name is for it.
Trickery.
Has there been an Arcana skill this whole time? No.
Witchcraft, or whatever the name of it is.
No!
Let me see.
God damn it.
Ooh,
Oh,
a critical
yourself on fire.
fumble.
is this something I can use my Witcher training for?
I think your Witcher training is more specifically for monsters. Let me go ahead and see if it says.
Well, humans are the real monsters. That's what it's
as
Like
as
Scooby-Doo.
previously stated. Like Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo taught me that.
I will say in this case, because your medallion is vibrating, you can use your Witcher medallion, Witcher training intuition in that case.
17 to an 8. That's just mean.
I can also use spellcasting.
I think your Witcher
If
training
that's
is
more appropriate.
perfectly apt for this particular situation. Kilton, if you would like to do a check, you would likely be able to do either education or... Yeah, it'd probably just be education.
Let's give education a crack.
Sure, yeah.
Why not? Oh,
Ooh,
fuck
and a
yeah.
critical success.
Uh,
Wow.
Yes, dude.
Very
You know, I took a class or two about magical anomalies. Just the one or
Giveth and
two.
taketh. Giveth and taketh.
Like, I've not been giveth in anything yet.
All
We
right,
can't all
well,
be blessed. Like
Kaspar,
Kilton Spoiler.
I think Kilton has rolled more critical successes than any character I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I rolled double nat 20s
I need it.
in
Yeah,
one of our
okay.
games this week.
That's
That-
true. Yeah.
That's a 1.25% chance. That happens pretty often.
But it's still awesome when it happens. All right,
Yes,
Kaspar.
of course,
Oh,
of
well,
course.
sorry, Mareigh first. You don't know. It's
I don't fucking know.
You're like, magic. Here?
Never heard of it.
What's up with that?
Weird. My
It's a
medallion's
Mobile
not
Tower.
moving.
Why would there be magic around here? I'm the most magical thing here.
Your earrings start to vibrate. Like, what the hell?
Kaspar, your medallion vibrating, it feels familiar in a certain way to you. Something you haven't felt in quite some time. However, with a 22 and the fact that your medallion is vibrating, you get the sense that this feels like when you are near a place of power. You find that the same type of kind of magical aura that radiates through a space when you are near a place of power has this kind of effect on your medallion. Kilton, your education, you're like, yeah, this place is clearly known as a place of power. Like the Moonshadow Lookout is
I've never been
one of the most well known.
I don't have the maps.
And it's a holiday, and people are going to be coming out for it. It's a whole mess.
In fact,
Place
Kilton, you look over and you see shrouded in some overgrowth. You spot the form of the kind of runic-looking place of power.
There it is. I've only ever seen it in drawings.
But I recognized it immediately.
Looks just like the postcard.
This feels extra embarrassing now.
This is like the Blarney Stone, if you know what it is. It's like super famous, and if you've never heard of it, it's like a rock.
Let it be known, I've never been this far north. I didn't know that there was a place of power out here.
A place of power. It's gotta be.
Too bad we don't have a place of warmth.
Oh, we do.
Right.
If they point it out to me, can I go in and investigate it?
I would also like to do that.
Indeed.
Let's get together.
Yeah.
As you
might as well.
approach, it is kind of closer towards the lookout ruins itself. The figure of Julian kind of turns and waves from a distance, maybe a few hundred yards away. And you're able to investigate where the place of power is, kind of clearing away some of the overgrowth. It's kind of, a monolithic little stone. You see that it is sort of a pilgrimage site almost. It seems to be almost a tourist location here, for the lack of a better word. It's got, some like little offerings and stuff. People clearly come here to, have a religious or magical experience. You can kind of feel that aura as you get close. And
this is my first time in this country, this particular country. Kovir and Povis? Is that where we are?
Right.
Yes. Got it.
Not as well traveled as you thought, huh?
It's really cold up here. I don't particularly care for the cold.
As you look at this monolithic place of power, you can tell by the carvings and the aura that it appears to be of air augmentation, of the air variety. And all three of you would know, Kilton, both from your education and the rest of you from your magical trainings and histories, these are generally found in places, mountaintops, plains, places where air events, strong winds, coastal places, things like that are often common. And you know that they can offer some really impressive magical boons to those who are trained in those ways.
Isn't art an air spell? An air sign?
Yep, art is the air spell.
Telekinesis is an air spell too.
I just want you to sketch me a picture with it.
We can do that.
Peace sign next to it.
Put it into a postcard.
You lean so you look like you're holding it up.
I was going to say kiss it for good luck, but that's a good one.
Put it into a postcard frame for your wife.
Right, yeah.
Mareigh didn't get to go to the place of power last time, so I'm reading on what you...
The mechanical benefits of this are basically, if you spend some time here at the place of power, you can get a temporary boon where your air magic vigor threshold goes up by 5, and your spell casting is considered 2 points higher for air magic. Generally, it only lasts for about an hour. I'll be a little bit flexible with that, depending on how you actually end up playing with.
Alternatively, an invoker can forego the bonus and extract 5 units of quintessence.
So that's the first benefit. You always get the vigor threshold boost for an hour, but then you can either get 10 improvement points to be used only on learning new magic or raising magical skills, or you can get the 5th essence.
Ooh, no, I'd rather have the IP.
Yeah, so the IP bonus is pretty good. So
yeah,
I can make quintessence whenever I want with ritual stuff, but
can only one of us attune to it? Is it
no, I'll say both of you. I mean, you might have to take turns, but you can both
Hey,
utilize
I wanna
the
do
place
it
of
too.
power.
Mom said it's my turn with place of power.
No, I obviously not do it yet.
Yeah, let's take some time and gather some magical
Meditate or
attunement.
whatever.
Indeed.
Yes.
There is in the book a rule for not spamming it basically. So
Yeah.
if you want to basically get the 10 IP points, you can mark that down. And then if you want to get the temporary bonus, like when you leave or something, because it's only an hour, then you could do that like tomorrow morning or something, or tonight if you want to. You don't necessarily have to do it right now. I'll say like it's right outside the ruin, so you can use it whenever you want. Basically, maybe it'll take like 10 minutes to pray at or attune with, essentially.
So 10 IP to like magic stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't
then-
have to be air specifically. It's just it has to be used on new magic or raising magical skills. So any of those things. So you could
Profession skills too, for me, or just
for
ma-
you
or what?
definitely. For Kaspar, it would be certain profession skills because
The
some
spell
of your
sword down the side.
there's any of those skill sets would be considered magical skills. So
Oh, there's rules for overdrawing from a place of power. Wow, you can
Yep,
take a lot of
yeah.
damage.
You
Mhm.
can't.
Yeah,
they,
you
can.
they really don't want you camping out at one and just getting the bonus every day.
which
That's
is
the
understandable.
Witcher, baby.
I think it's each time period, it looks like.
Dude,
It's,
too much.
I think there's a
Hurt
resting
yourself.
period. It's like after a month or something, you can do it again without a detriment
Oh,
or something.
The version I'm
There's
looking
some sort
at
of
just
time
says-
period, but
yeah.
it's a fairly lengthy amount of time, and it doesn't generally make sense. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to come back to this one again and again and again. So,
Yeah.
all right. At this point, Julian comes over and greets you. You see, he is looking fairly well groomed and refreshed, ready for the road and journey ahead. He says, "Welcome, everyone. I just got my fire set up. I was just making some stew for the evening. I made it myself. It's not bad. So
He can
I only
sing
wish
and he can sing and he can cook.
I
wonders
am
what
a
this is.
man of many talents. I can do at least 3 things.
At least
Um,
3.
Sometimes 2 of them at once, but I won't tell you which ones. So
Wow.
yes, we're not that well acquainted yet, Mareigh. Although I do appreciate the attention. So
Sure
come
you
join,
do.
and the soup shall be ready. It's a stew. Shall be ready in a little while, and we shall enjoy the evening. I hear that there is a cosmic event scheduled for this evening, although I haven't seen anything in the night sky of late, so I'm not sure if that's of accurate rapport, but you know how poets are. Sometimes things are a bit exaggerated.
The embark event is tonight, isn't it? Is that
Indeed, so say the
The almanacs.
prophets or the almanacs, yes, indeed. But I have not seen any evidence of it besides perhaps the fact that there's a full moon scheduled for the evening and a bit more shooting stars than I've seen recently, but that's nothing of too much import. You know, the stew is going to be absolutely fine as it is, but I only wish I had some mushrooms, and I'm just not very adept at foraging. Would any of you potentially be able to perhaps find some to, spice it up a little bit? Well, not spice, but you know what I mean.
Mushroom it up.
You didn't
Shroom
hire
it up
us
a bit.
to be truffle pigs.
Wait, this is easier than what he hired us to do. It's not a problem.
You're right,
And-
Kaspar. I did not hire you to be a truffle pig, but if you'd like a more tasty supper, then perhaps you would be amenable to using that big old snout and, finding some mushrooms.
My big old snout is a bit overwhelmed by the smell of women's perfume that is accosting me from your body.
Oh,
I do understand. You're not accustomed to company of, the finer sex. I understand, Kaspar. It's a little overwhelming for someone from the wilds, But I assure you, you'll be smelling right as rain next time we come into a place where I can get you a lovely bath and your own perfume. So I'll let you pick it out or help you make it. I do make my own perfume sometimes as well.
Poor Kaspar. You really were like, oh, I know, I'm gonna diss this guy, and he's like, actually, boom, 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 bam, bam, bam,
can't diss what he's not ashamed of.
Never diss a bard.
you
Also, you don't fuck.
You don't
also,
bathe,
you smell
you live
bad.
in the
Also-
woods.
Yeah.
And I
Hey,
want
you
to
see-
help you with that. I want to be your queer eye for the
and
straight
I
guy.
don't even mind. Because
shout
I
out
love
to
you.
shout out to Yaskier, now canonically bi. Good for him.
He's the original member of the Northern
Does that
Kingdom's
make you
Pure Eye for the Straight
canonically
guy.
straight?
Fair.
I'm
not looking for mushrooms for this fool, especially after that. Are you fucking kidding me?
I will look around for some mushrooms only if I'm able to look for alchemical reagents while I do so.
Indeed. Go ahead and give me a wilderness survival check.
Oh,
I also want to
I've
help.
got no ranks in this, but I'm pretty damn smart. So
Looking
try
for
it.
I
alchemical
was a
supplies would
scout.
actually be a good idea.
but
You
you didn't think of
storage
it.
I know.
Mushrooms.
If I find something interesting, I'll bring it back to you.
Casper's stubborn and insulted.
Hilton is very good at fighting mushrooms. As well, I mean, not
You
as
were
good
a
as
scout.
Mareigh, but yeah, like I'm good at this. This is what I did for a while.
And because if I roll well enough, I'll bring back the not poisonous ones.
Well,
No,
Maybe
bring the
keep-
poisonous ones, please.
I'll keep the poisonous ones separate so we can study them and make stuff out of them.
Indeed. So, both of you pass the DC, and Kilton, you readily find some very tasty looking, nice batch of delicious and nutritious mushrooms to add to the stew, and you're able to gather up quite a bit. Mareigh,
Yeah.
you additionally are able to find some mushrooms to add as well, and some
I find some
alchemical reagents.
king oyster mushrooms.
mine are regular
Indeed.
mushrooms.
Ugh,
They
no.
call them that because they're regular.
Now I want grilled king oyster mushroom.
Is
I
there a
want regular
particular reagent that you're looking for, Mareigh?
Ooh, let's see what I'm missing. We're in the mountains, right?
I would
Or-
consider this probably
Fields?
mountains, like forested areas. You know, you're on top of a hill, but there's a variety of landscapes around you. So,
Let me look. Just gotta see what I'm low on. I bought
Sure.
plenty before I left.
I bought no reagents. I should have thought this through.
I had a last minute thought on character creation.
So
to
little
to
money.
to buy reagents. What is this? Soul and Calum. Those are
so
usually
while
really
you
hard
look
to
for
find.
that, Kilton, you managed to bring the mushrooms found back and add them into the stew. You think that this will make the stew really quite excellent. In fact, you think that it may.
Can I
Yes.
can I double check? Can I please double check his mushrooms just to make sure that he didn't accidentally grab
They're-
the poisonous ones?
So normal.
Sure. Go ahead and give
Please.
me a wilderness survival check, Kaspar.
Hey,
Cat.
do these
I'll
look
put
Right,
a
regular?
yeah,
couple
cut out
luck
Kaspar.
points just in case.
Good idea.
Oh yes, if you didn't refresh your.
Oh
luck
shit!
points.
I rolled worse than you. No, they're fine. Those are fine.
Kaspar, you think they look poisonous? You're
Oh my
you're convinced
God.
that they're
I'm
poisonous.
not gonna eat the stew, but I'm not
Star.
gonna stop him from using it.
You're hoping I killed
Fair enough.
Dandelion for the fucking
If
slight
there's-
against you.
If there's any brionia around those mushrooms, I would like to find some brionia, some calum.
Sure, yeah. So go ahead and roll for your DC was high enough to find some. Just go ahead and give us one of the. I think it's a D6 or some of them are D10.
It's a D10.
Yeah. So go ahead and give us a D10 to see how many you find, and then go ahead and add that to your.
One.
You found one.
I found
you know.
it's nearing the. It's not. They're not quite in season. This one was sheltered. All right. That helps out a lot, though.
You,
More brionia.
Kilton, despite Kaspar's warnings that
Warnings.
perhaps
Well, no
The-
warning.
Well, yeah,
Just
despite
notices.
his.
Oh, you don't tell.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You
Keep
add
it to
the
myself.
mushrooms that you and Mareigh found to the stew.
How is it?
It's delicious. Anyone who has
Awesome.
the stew gets a +2 to body, to both your body skills and athletics
Ooh.
for the next day, basically.
Body and athletics.
So the way I'm doing kind of food mechanics for this is if you have a good meal, like a feast or a hearty meal versus just a ration, it may give you a boon. And I'm basically just going to say it's for the next full day, basically, instead of trying to do like a time limit on it, because that's, not very much fun to have a
I love
6-hour
love
time
that.
limit and then it ends right before. So
What's the point of having a game with really good foraging mechanics if you don't give yourself a reward from it?
yeah,
I mean,
and
the
I
reward is
figure
also alchemy.
the body and athletics boost is good. It may not be, the most useful thing in the world, but it can definitely, increase your pace when you're going long distances, that kind of thing. So it may be,
Oh, that's smart.
as you're traveling, it might be everyone does an endurance check, and if you have that +2, it might mean knock a day off your travel, that kind of thing.
Oh,
So-
there's a place where you can add custom modifiers to it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So body, body
Excuse me.
+2.
and specifically the athletic skill.
Athletics.
Casper's gonna watch everyone. Once he sees that they're not immediately throwing up,
Uh-huh.
he will have some.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I bet you
There's
are.
a very little bit left, but I'll say there's
A
enough
little
for-
bit.
Yeah.
I probably won't get the bonus, but I still will eat.
No, you get the bonus too.
Yay! Thank you.
Everyone should be glad that everyone rolled well on the wilderness survival and found good mushrooms, because that was a
Yes.
threat that maybe everyone was gonna have a bad night.
Plus,
All right,
oh, not plus
shit.
20. Not plus 20.
Come on, Kaspar, not +20.
That's some Harriet, some Harriet error numbers.
No.
So the sun is now setting over the landscape of Kovir and Povis. Below, far in the distance, you can see the bay where Pont Vanis is, and it's a lovely sunset.
Yay.
Oh, nice.
You have a hearty meal,
I set up my
and
tent.
Everyone who has a tent can set it up. Julian, you see, has a small caravan pulled behind a horse. It's not quite very elaborate. It's not anything too fancy. It's pretty straightforward. It's almost kind of the equivalent of one of those weird little teardrop camper things that you pull behind
Oh,
a Prius.
like a little Vardo for him.
Yeah, it's one of those, or the fantasy
I love
version
that.
of that.
He's glamping.
Do I even have a tent?
Yes.
I don't even
I
know
don't
if I have a tent. I think I just have a bedroll.
That feels like Kaspar though. Like tents
Yeah.
are heavy.
Yeah, I guess travel light.
I have a large
Casper?
tent.
I've
Can
got a
I
regular size tent.
The tower. Can I scramble to the top? Casper would like to watch the sky.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
atop the tower.
Gonna be a
Oh, do you
event tonight.
deliver Julian's package?
yeah. Yep.
Excellent.
I just kind of quietly hand it to him. I don't like.
explain about what happened?
Nope.
I don't think
He
we
doesn't need to
should.
know. Not important.
He'll
He takes
come
it.
up
Is
on
this
the road.
blood on
It's
this?
covered in blood a little bit.
No, he takes it. He says, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing that favor for me. And, this is going to come in very handy tonight." You see that Julian opens it. It is a very nice brass looking glass or telescope,
Very
Oh.
nice.
as well as some other just general gear and things like that. But you see there's a nice pair of kind of leather gloves in there and a few other things. But it appears as though the main item that he was looking for was the looking glass. As the sun
Wish I would've
sets,
stole
That's an
that.
he
expensive little trinket.
It costs a life.
indeed, it's nothing too fancy, but this cosmic event, it's supposed to be a comet, I think, is very rare, exceedingly rare, supposedly, as the stories go. And there's all these rumors and legends along with it. Something, keeping prophecies straight. It gets tiresome after some time. But I'm curious for the astrological and astronomical. Astronomical? Is astronomical a word? It is. I'm making it up. No, astronomical. I'm pretty sure, Mareigh, it's astronomical is the word.
I know we both studied at Oxford, but you were more arts and humanities. I was more science.
Well, if you insist, but I'm fairly certain that astronomical is a word.
Okay.
But, it has been some time since I've been at the academy. So, anyways, I'm
recently.
curious. Have any of you heard of the Comet of Imbolc?
I don't know if we rolled checks about it last time, but I'm willing to roll another one.
I did not.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think we did checks.
We did not do checks. We just mentioned it at the end of the session. So anyone who would like an astronomical check.
Astronomical check. That's in the skill tree, actually. That only Dandelion has.
God damn it.
Education?
This would be an education check, yes. All right. Looks like everyone's in. Caspar's a little bit in the next tier. Yeah. Kilton, Mareigh, both of you are familiar and have heard of this. It's kind of one of those things. Remember, like the whole 2012 thing, right? It was like, the world's gonna. It's like everyone has kind of heard of it, but it's like
going to end in 2012 because the Mayan calendar doesn't go past 2012.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those kind of things.
Back through.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that's talks about it at some bar, or some event, or something
but
dumb.
It'll be the next one. That's
it's one of those kinds of things. So what you've heard about it is that some ancient power is supposed to reveal some great secret on the Comet of Imbolc's Eve, and I would say from your education, you would know that. Yeah, basically, there's supposed to be this kind of cosmic convergence on this night that has been prophesied for a long time. It's not really clear on when the prophecy first came about, but
it's just always been knocking about in the books in the rumor mill. Interesting. There's never one for
Kaspar.
Astronomy.
Kaspar, you are in the next little bracket up of education, surprisingly. And not surprisingly, you're a very well-educated witcher. You know that I'm trying to think of what the guy's name was, but you know the guy's name who came up with
Definitely.
It's something. It's one of those old-timey names, and the comet is named after him. But you just can't quite place the name.
Concilius Imbolc.
And so you know that
the guy.
This was the guy that supposedly came up with the prophecy roughly over 1,000 years ago. It's a pretty old prophecy, and it has been around for a long time. You know that as the stories go, it's supposed to the cosmic event is supposed to appear. It's supposed to reveal some secret about some ancient power, and that there are supposed to be some, world-changing abilities that are supposed to be unlocked by this event.
Magic boon comet.
It's also supposed to be the end of the world. That's the other thing. I mean, that part you all know that. But again, that's the 2012 thing where it's supposed to herald the end of the world.
I don't know how much weight Kaspar actually... I don't really know how much Kaspar really believes in stuff like that. He lives in a very, obviously very magical world, but I don't think he necessarily believes half of it. That is
there
told
are
to him
also
until
lots
he
of
sees it.
these types of prophecies, right? There's one every other week where someone's like, the world's gonna end.
I imagine none of us believe this one, or we'd be kind of a little freaking out.
Yeah, as far as the magical bit. Kaspar does love looking at the night sky, though, and he's going to find a high vantage point away from everyone and away from the fire. And he's going to scramble up the tower ruins for a good vantage point.
You got it.
Should I do a checky check to clamber up?
I think you're probably, you're not in a hurry or anything, so you're able to get up there. You're an athletic little lad, so you're able to get up there pretty easily, and you're used to climbing around on things during your Witcher trainings.
You're an agile kitty cat.
I'm not little.
I'm not little.
We can't continue
guy.
this joke here.
It's a different.
He's just
He's the tallest of the party. He's the tallest cat boy around.
But he's a little guy in our hearts.
No, he's not.
All right, I have found who the
That's
prophecy
true, but
was.
don't call him a cat boy.
I didn't call you a cat boy.
I feel so
I called you a kitty cat.
Fucking Zephyr called him a cat boy.
Cat Witcher. I'm so sorry. Feline Witcher. Feline Witcher.
Feline boy.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think. Let me see if I can copy this into the chat.
Light show.
Yeah. So Kaspar, this is the information that you know in addition to the stuff that Kilton and Mareigh recalled. You know that the prophecy was written by Philaretos Galaris, who the comet was named after. It is the Philaretos comet, or Galaris comet, depending on who you ask. Most people these days just call it the Imbolc comet because that's the day it's supposed to appear on. The comet is said to be the harbinger of a cataclysmic change in the world, and it also marks the beginning of a celestial alignment that will culminate in a few months. Finally, you also know that the comet will mark servants of some great ancient power that are linked by destiny. All right. As
Kaspar mutters something about destiny being bullshit before he goes up to the tower. He doesn't really elaborate on anything else.
All right, the rest of you sit around the fire with Julian. He maybe strums on his lute a little bit. You talk about maybe all the things that you recall from the prophecy, and talk about the astronomy and your days at Oxenford. Those things as the sun drifts below the horizon and the few first stars begin to appear. By about 9 o'clock or so, the moon has begun to rise in its full, complete sphere, a radiant orb in the celestial heavens, surrounded by countless stars. You're able to fully see the galaxy, whether it's this galaxy or a different one, who knows, but you're able to see the arms of the Milky Way or whichever galaxy you're in around you. And
you don't have the whole galaxy mapped out for this campaign?
I haven't quite got to the whole galaxy yet. Unfortunately, Sapkowski, how he is with maps. He hasn't even got the full galaxy map yet.
Canonically, we are in a different universe than our own, so it would not be the Milky Way.
It would be
because it wouldn't be called the Milky Way, but it's presumably the same galaxy because it's the same planet but a different dimension or something. I don't know. Who knows? We don't.
It's actually really the spaghetti universe.
I haven't read The Lady of the Lake in a while. So.
Yeah, it's. We'll just say you can see a wonderful galaxy above you.
It is a beautiful spiraling galaxy.
Breathtaking. This is
sure that
the
somebody's
perfect
be
place
like,
to watch a celestial event, with the exception that it's pretty cold. You're on top of a mountain, and it is February in a very far northern place, so it's very brisk. And you're very lucky that the sky is clear. Usually it is snowing or overcast, so the fact that the clouds have cleared, it's perfectly crisp and clear up as far as you can see. So.
That's so fucking cold.
Very cold. As the moon kind of reaches its zenith late in the night, the rest of you, having spent the time with Julian, perhaps playing cards or hanging out, above you, you begin to see a shimmering light, almost akin to the northern lights, but more crimsons and purples. You see hints of reds and pinks. And above you, you begin to see the form of a comet begin to appear.
There it is.
not like a comet would normally appear, kind of gradually over the course of, days or weeks as it kind of becomes more and more visible. This is very abrupt. It's almost like a light switch. The light reaches your eyes and you see above you this shimmering light and the shining tail of this comet blazing across the sky.
That doesn't seem like a normal comet.
What's a normal? Oh, I suppose.
Slow. They are much further away and not nearly as bright.
Kaspar makes a wish.
Aw.
Nice.
I will say, anyone who would like, go ahead and give me a deduction check.
Deduction.
I would love to make a deduction.
Make a wish
Governor.
check.
Make a wish check, please. The last wish check.
First wish check.
First wish check. I didn't roll
All
great
right.
on that. I'm so caught up in the beauty of it all.
Yeah, Kaspar, you do not. Nothing really. It's unusual and beautiful, and really striking, but nothing really necessarily stands out to you beyond the fact that it's unusual, presumably, to see a comet appear like that. Kilton and Mareigh, both of you immediately get that hint of kind of unease that that's
Yeah,
not generally how celestial events occur.
Oh
That's-
god.
and
That's no actual comet. That's something else.
I will say, depending on however your characters would interpret this, whether it's from a magical standpoint or a classic standard education standpoint, you feel that the comet has manifested in a way that suggests almost coming through a barrier into existence.
Did it come through the sphere?
That's more or less your assumption with that deduction check, would be it has come through a barrier in whatever is above you in the celestial sphere into this sphere.
It pierced the firmament, as it were.
Mari's a flat earther.
It cracked the egg.
It cracked the egg.
It cracked the egg.
The mages make you study the confluence of the spheres, like not religiously, but like pretty extensively, because that's the source of magic. Is the confluence. There is like, it's not a shell in the physical sense, but it is a shell in the metaphysical sense, and it can be traversed, but not easily, and not without great cost. That's Mari's got a bad feeling about this.
Mm-hmm.
Mareigh feels like she's seen something she shouldn't have seen.
Kaspar's having a great time.
Bet you are.
It's so pretty.
I start, no, but I've seen it, so I'm gonna start writing down the characteristics of it now that I've seen it. And
no point in running, right?
Is
Run
it
from
coming,
the sky.
It's not coming towards us. It's like it's not on a trajectory towards us, is it? It's just going across.
And you're able to use the telescope as well. Julian shares it with you to observe. It's far out there. It's in the celestial sphere. It's not impacting, right? It's not a meteor or anything. It is, across the celestial sky, but it is manifesting in a way that is unusual.
Yeah, it's not acting like a star should behave, or a falling star should behave. Interesting.
The sight is awe-inspiring. It is possibly one of the most unusual astrological events that any of you has ever witnessed. Mareigh, perhaps you've seen other, really interesting things before in your time.
This is very interesting.
But definitely one of the most unusual you have ever had the opportunity to witness. As the night grows late, it's nearly close towards midnight. Kilton, you feel Julian kind of slumping against you a bit, starting to fall asleep.
Oh, come off it. Wake up. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I was, it is gorgeous. I I had late
Yes.
night last night, and I just haven't had a lot of sleep.
Right.
So,
You never
I just-
stop talking about it.
but I'm sorry.
Man.
I apologize. Just
Can I talk to you, man to man? I've been away from my wife for a while. You don't need to rub it in.
Kilton, you are very lovely, but I just
No, I'm not coming on
we're
to you.
going to
and I'm
be
not coming
traveling
on to you.
together for a long time, Kilton, and I just don't think that it would.
You know, I knew you were going to say that. I knew when I said it.
I hate to be a heartbreaker, but Kilton, we've just met and we're going to be working together for so long. It just wouldn't work.
How long are we going to work together?
I mean,
How long do you reckon?
I promise you, Kilton, if we reach Toussaint, we can have this conversation again.
Right.
But we have more important things in the world to focus on, right?
We'll pass through Lyria. You can ask my wife for me. She'll get a laugh out
I
of
mean,
it.
she could join us if that's what you both want.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I'd have to see her first, but you know.
Dan thinks his dick is a gift from a Littley or something.
That's fine. Call it a white elephant gift and just trade it off to someone else.
Kilton, I hope this won't affect our agreement.
I'm already walked away. Like, all right, goodbye.
Oh
Whatever.
my god, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh, it was so obvious. It was so good.
Good to know a
Okay.
conversation man to man is not to be taken seriously. I guess I'll have to try another approach and just smack him
He's not
upside
a man, he's
the
a
head.
fop.
He's a bisexual dandy, of course he's incredibly famous. Of course he thinks
Most-
every single person on Earth wants to fuck him.
Most bisexual dandies want to listen for some time
No.
to what others have to say.
Not if you're incredibly famous.
Fair. That's it. He's a celebrity.
Oh, that's too good.
Ugh. God. Hey,
How long does the comet linger in the sky? Is it still going?
It's not very fast across the sky. It kind of almost blips into existence, and then it's very slow across the sky.
normal comet
Yeah.
trajectory.
Okay. Do the last how long do the pretty northern lights last?
They seem to be shimmering and lingering. They kind of fade in and out. They seem to have kind of reached their crescendo when the comet appeared, but they do appear to still be lingering in the sky. And I'll say, just with your previous education checks that you had, that lights like this, northern light type things,
those are
aren't
normal.
they're not totally unheard of here this far north in Kovir and Povis. This is unusual as well. I mean, it's kind of the most you've seen of them before in an unusual way, but it's not necessarily entirely out of it's not crazy.
Before
It's
I
not
go
alarming.
before I go to bed, I'll write a scholar's account of the astrological event, like the old timey monks do, and file it away for myself for future publication.
Excellent.
I think once Kaspar realizes that everyone's actually gone to sleep, he's gonna kind of scramble down to be closer to the fire.
Got it. So yes, as you kind of all go about your, late night, the fire's starting to die down. Kaspar, maybe you stir it back up a bit, add a few more logs. Kilton, as you kind of prepare, you have a large tent. As you're kind of, getting everything set up and ready for bed, Julian approaches you, kind of away from the fire. Says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make things awkward. I'm so used to being in the spotlight and being the dandelion that everyone loves. Sometimes it's hard to switch off. You wanted to have a serious conversation. Please.
Oh no, I
you
was
have
going to
something
tell you. I was going to tell you to shut up about fucking, because it's been a minute and I don't get to sleep with whoever I run across, and I love me wife. Don't rub it in.
I understand. I forget sometimes that my I can be a bit insensitive, particularly to audiences that I'm not as familiar with. So I apologize.
Is he reading that off a cue card? Hold on.
It sounds like an apology video.
I can be insensitive. People can construe my comments as offensive, and
Look, Kilton. If you don't
it's
understand
all
my apology,
good.
it's
It's
fine.
all
I
good.
I realized that I did the exact thing you were asking me to not do, and I realized that it was in poor taste. So I
Water under the
apologize.
bridge. We're good.
Excellent.
Oh,
I look forward to getting to know you better. So
Of course.
I will retire to my caravan, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
I bid you adieu.
I do.
Okay, at least he apologized.
Yes, Julian returns to his caravan. He crawls inside it, and let's see. The rest of you head to bed then, or?
Yep. Finish my journal entry.
Kaspar's going to try and stay up as late as possible to kind of keep watch as well.
Sure. And Kaspar, you're able to meditate, right?
Nope, not
So-
yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Alright,
is
so-
later on the profession tree. I just unlocked it as soon as possible last time.
That's fair. That's
It's
fair.
a very good skill.
It is a very
um,
good skill.
But no, I have to sleep now.
Great. Yeah, go ahead and give me a. You stay up. How are you trying to stay up like all night, or just try and stay up later?
Just trying to like get an idea for the surroundings, so probably like a few hours after everyone actually goes to bed.
Sure. Absolutely. All right. Well, when you do all eventually go to bed, Kaspar, you are by far the coldest because you don't have a tent, and your little bedroll by the fire is. It's one of those things where you're warm by the fire for about 12 minutes when you lay down, and then the wind chill just immediately. You're just kind of
Front's all toasty, back's freezing cold.
yeah.
He's like in a like on his side, like curved around the fire, basically. Should I do like an awareness check for before I go to bed, since I'm keeping an eye out? Or
Yeah, go ahead and give us an awareness check for keeping an eye on things late into the night.
keep an eye on everyone too. Make sure nothing, like nobody's coming out to assassinate anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice.
Yeah.
Not yet.
20. Very good. You stay up late. You listen to the crackle of the fire. You hear the slight, quiet snoring of Julian in his little caravan. The, nickering of the horses as they kind of, rest and occasionally, kick the ground or snort in, fright or just discomfort at being cold or bugs on them or something. Nothing out of the ordinary in terms of people sneaking up or anything like that. It's quiet up here on the top of this mountain. You do notice that it's very quiet on top of the mountain. There's not really anything but the sound of the wind in your ears, the kind of, distant rustle of some grasses and the occasional tree kind of rustling in the wind. But beyond that, it's very quiet this evening with the silent comet overhead and the shimmering lights casting kind of a dancing glow across the landscape below. But nothing sneaking up on you. As you each drift off to sleep, Kaspar around the crackling fire, the rest in your cozy tents beneath these celestial dancing lights and the comet, your sleep is welcome. And your dreams are very vivid and clear. But they fairly quickly turn to nightmares.
Oh
no.
no.